We got really so good. I stopped doing the fish mouth.
I guess so.
I used to do that when I was young.
Everybody
And
did.
my mama couldn't stand it.
You fix your mouth.
That's what she start doing your mouth like a fish mouth. She couldn't stand it.
So, what's going on, people? We got a young lady in here. We're going to ask her a few questions.
Okay.
Welcome to Business in the Cut.
Hello, hello.
So, I'm going to ask that you talk into the mic. Is your mic off?
No, it's not. Okay, there we go.
There we go. So, now let me fix this.
Okay.
You good now?
Yeah.
Is this thing on? You still see you?
Nope.
Still see you?
Yes.
No. So we're going to ask a few questions.
All right.
See if we can get a couple of answers.
Okay.
So, what's your name?
Adrian Moffitt Powell.
Okay.
You want to know my nickname?
Yeah, what's your nickname?
Because at some point, let me go ahead and say, at some point, I'm gonna have to put this on the campaign trail with me. So my nickname is Shank.
Shank?
Shank.
How you got a thug nickname? You gonna run for judge?
Shank is my nickname. Believe it or not, more people know me by my nickname than my real name. I have family members couldn't tell you my real name.
So y'all vote for Shank?
Vote for Shank, Judge Shank. If you look on my social media page, some people like Judge Shank. Shank. Yes.
Wow. Wow.
But I love it though. It's me. It's me.
So what side of town are you from?
Ansley.
So you from Ansley? From the
I
Brickyard? Or you from the other end?
I am not from the Brickyard.
Oh, she
But
is.
I'm good with that too.
I don't know about you.
So yes, I am from Ansley. I used to live on Ansley Highland, so that's kind of like.
Oh, you from the good part of Ansley. Oh.
The uppity part of Ansley.
Yeah.
I
I thought you were from the Brickyard.
Look, I represent that too.
I don't know if I would have had you on here if I knew you.
Look,
Thought you were from the Brickyard. I thought you were from the store, your set and all that.
Look, I'm good with that too. I love my folks from the Brickyard. You know, Ansley's Ansley. We all one.
And by the way, I'm not drinking. This is cucumber water. Yeah. So, okay, you from Ansley.
I am.
What high school did you go to?
I went to Ansley High School.
Okay, you went to Ansley High School.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yep.
so since you mentioned Ansley,
Yeah.
shout out to Q's Bar and Grill, Quentin Jackson. Y'all go holler at my partner. Yeah, that's my partner.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can barbecue too. So, you went to Ansley.
I went to
What
Ansley.
middle school?
I went to Bush Middle School, and since we're doing shout outs, you know, I have to do like a small one. Everybody knows the band teacher from Bush. Mr. Carr.
But wait now, because Mr. Carr was at Callaway in Collegeville, and he was at Woodlawn. Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you.
So shout out to Jose Carr.
Yes, Mr. Carr. And
Yeah.
Mr. Carr calls me Shank.
Oh, for real?
Yes, that's what I'm telling you. That's how I call
I gotta check that. I gotta check your street cred.
It's not much that.
I gotta check your street cred. See if you about that life. Yeah. So okay.
Yes.
So you went to Bush.
Went to Bush Middle School.
Okay.
Ansley High School. Graduated in '99.
Okay.
So yes, I'm excited. Class of '99. We love each other.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, she probably wasn't gonna say it, but I'm gonna say it.
What?
Tell them the sorority that you're a part of.
Of course. Even if you didn't ask, at some point I was gonna squeeze that information in.
Okay.
And you see my green jacket in the back. I'm always representing.
She keep the green.
I keep the green.
Yeah.
So I am a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
You have to say it out like that.
Oh, yeah,
Say it again.
yeah.
Say it again.
Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Yes, you have to say it a certain way. You have to stand apart.
Okay.
Yes, the best sorority.
Okay.
But I have my Greek love. I love them all.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Alpha, Kappa Alpha, all that. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So you're AKA.
I am an AKA.
All right. Shout out to the AKAs.
Yes.
All right.
Always.
All right.
Always.
So now, you are an attorney.
I am.
Okay. What type of law do you deal with?
I am domestic relations attorney, domestic relations and family law. So
explain it.
That's what I was just about to say. A lot of people don't know exactly what domestic relations is. So that is divorce court. That is divorce, child support, custody. We deal with property. So the difference between domestic relations, which is divorce court, and your standard family law is that those parties in family law, they are not married. Okay. In domestic relations, they are married. That's why. But we deal with pretty much the same thing. Also in family court, dealing with family law, we don't deal with property. You deal with property in divorce court.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So, you're an attorney.
I am.
Now, you decided to run for judge.
I did.
Okay. What made you decide to run for judge?
Believe it or not, I have been practicing in private practice now for a little bit, maybe about 13, almost 14 years. Prior to that, I actually worked for domestic relations attorneys about 6 years. I was their legal assistant. Fell in love with domestic relations, family law. And so when I got into private practice, I pretty much did the same thing. You know, as general practice, we can kind of get into everything. But I found myself focusing on domestic relations. I love the law. I love to read it. I love to interpret. I love my cases. I love to apply it. I love dealing with children. And at some point, I said, you know what? I want to be able to do certain things and see certain things, and you can't necessarily do that as a lawyer. I felt like my next step was to run for judge. I felt like I had the experience. I had a lot of support behind me. I prayed about that decision, and here I am.
Okay. Yeah. So do you think you'll make a good judge?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I think some of the things that make a good judge, and like I said before, experience. You don't want, especially when you're dealing with domestic relations and family law, we're dealing with children. We're dealing with families. That's important. And the last thing you want is someone who has not been in that particular area, or someone that does not have the experience to sit on the bench and make those type of decisions that affect your family, or your family, or your friend's family. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, when you're dealing with children, you're dealing with families, that is such an important and big deal. And so you want someone who did that particular area of law, who have dealt with children, who know behind the scenes how it relates with children as well as the parents. You want someone who has been in the middle of cases to know what needs to happen and what you can do to better these cases as they go along. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so that's one of the biggest things. And I also tell people, compassion. You have to, when you're dealing with family law and you're dealing with children, you're dealing with families who at some point are going to separate through a divorce. Okay. When you're dealing with that, you have to be compassionate about these people. They're coming in, their families are going to change. Things are going to be different. Households are going to be split. At some point, these people love each other. And so you may come in where one person don't want to get a divorce and the other one does. And it happens quite a bit. It's not unusual that one party may not want to, they may want to work it out. And so as a judge, you want to have compassion as it relates to the families, as it relates to the husband, as it relates to the wives. You have to say to yourself, you're not just making a decision that just kind of is willy-nilly. You're making a decision that affects these people long term. See what I'm saying? So I believe, again, I would make an excellent judge because I have all those qualities.
Are you compassionate?
I am. You need to be smart too. I'm smart too. Yeah. So
you'll make good decisions when it comes to families. Okay.
I would. And you want fairness. That's the other thing.
A lot of men don't get real fair treatment in courts.
You know, say
will you be fair?
Absolutely be fair. I will be fair. I have been, from my experience, I have been on cases, and I'm not saying anything without just saying anything, but I've been on cases where you don't want to have to worry about who's on the other side of a case, depending on how that judge is going to rule based on who's on the other side.
How they feel that day.
Right, so you don't want that. So as a judge, you want a judge to be fair. You want a judge to realize that that it doesn't matter who's on the other side of the case, who the other attorney is, or who the party is, that everybody gets their fair shot to present their case in front of a judge, and it doesn't matter who the parties are, the lawyers, and they make a decision based on the evidence that has been presented in front of them. That's what you want. You want a judge that's going to be fair and apply the law no matter what. And that's me.
Okay, so what seat are you running for?
Place 23.
Place 23.
Mm-hmm. Place 23. Domestic Relations Division, place 23.
Okay.
So that's Jefferson County Circuit Court Judge, place 23.
So I see that you all have some other candidates, some pretty good candidates in the race.
Yeah, we got a lot of them. Yeah, we got a lot of them.
Okay. So
big race this time.
Shout out to them.
Yeah.
We're gonna give them a shout out too.
Yeah. We got quite a few.
So hopefully one day we'll see you in the Supreme Court.
Oh, I like the way you talk.
Yeah, don't forget about us when you
get
to the Supreme Court.
I would not dare. I would not dare.
We need you to be a little lenient, you know, when you become a judge.
Gotcha.
And remember me.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
Remember me.
You already know.
Yeah,
absolutely. I got you.
You never know who you're gonna need in this world.
That is true. That's why you have to treat everybody with kindness. You never know who you're gonna run back into. You never know who you're gonna need. You don't burn those bridges. I'm
gonna go to some of the questions I usually ask.
Okay.
One of the questions I usually ask: did you know that you wanted to be a lawyer or a judge when you were little?
Believe it or not, I initially wanted to be an attorney. I went to University of Montevallo. And prior to going to undergrad, I initially said, okay, I want to be a lawyer. But once I got in there, I tried to change my major. I started with political science and pre-law. So I was told if you wanted to be an attorney, you should major in political science. FYI, everybody, you do not have to major in political science to be an attorney. I probably should have majored in something else. But I was told you want to major in political science, and I did. And pre-law was my minor. Okay. So I think maybe about my junior year, somewhere in there, I tried to change my major and wanted to do social work. So I went to my advisor and he said that I would not graduate on time, and I said no thank you. I went back to political science so I can graduate on time and decided to go to law school. So I will say I did want to be an attorney. But as I got older, I did kind of waver and change my mind a little bit.
I think my mama took criminal justice.
Well, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So I kind of wavered back and forth.
I don't know if I would have made a good attorney.
You made an excellent attorney. Why you don't think so?
Well,
what? Because they said we were supposed to debate and know how to argue?
I know how to argue.
Okay, so why you think you would?
I don't know.
It's not hard.
Maybe if I could be an attorney without taking a test. Yeah.
Look, I tell you, it's not too late. Look,
so I got to give a shout out to Martin Thomas. He passed the bar, and I guess however they go, they have to make sure that he doing what he's supposed to do. They released him, so he just got everything done.
Oh, awesome.
He has a great story. I got to get him on the podcast.
Oh, awesome.
I don't want to tell his story until you see the podcast, but he has a great story, so shout out to him.
Yeah.
Shout out to Yo Chef, one of our official sponsors, the Green Acres Chicken downtown, the Green Acres Chicken Ansley, and the Green Acres Chicken Centerpoint, official sponsors. Shout out to Attorney Ronnie Rice, one of our sponsors.
I like Ronnie.
Yeah, Ronnie's good people.
Yeah, I like Ronnie.
Yeah, Ronnie's good people.
Yeah, I like Ronnie.
Yeah, so,
right.
Now, my other question is this.
Okay.
To that young lady who's paying attention to you, who wants to be you, what would you tell a young person or a young fella? What would you tell them as words of encouragement?
So I'm glad you asked that question. It kind of allowed me to kind of tell a little bit about my background. I am so proud, and I'm always bragging about the fact where I'm from. I tell people, people have this thought process when you're from places like Ansley or whatever, that things may turn out a little bit differently. I had a, what they call a praying mom, and it doesn't really matter, and I want to make sure young people know that. It doesn't matter where you're from, where you grew up. It's just, here's the other thing. I tell my brothers, I'm a older sister. I have 3 younger brothers. Okay. We are completely like night and day. If you all saw them, you probably say, wow, they sister attorney. They got tattoos up here and all that. But they're my babies. But I just say that to say, I tell people, you don't have to be the smartest in the room. You just make sure you work the hardest. And I did. I made sure I did what it took.
What kind of grades did you make?
I made good grades. I made A's and B's. I started out with straight A's.
We don't know because we weren't there. But, I mean, maybe you made A's and B's. I don't know.
I made A's and B's.
Okay.
And so, you just have to be hardworking, and it doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter where you come from. If you work hard, you can do what anybody else do. You have to constantly say to yourself, what's the difference between that person and me? It's not a difference. My mom passed when I was 17, and my brothers and I went to live with my cousin. And I have a great relationship with my dad. Just at the time, we just chose to do that, and we went to live with my cousin. And I remember my cousin saying that, you know, because she was young, she was 27 when we moved in, so she already had her 2 kids. So you got me 17, my brother I think was 10, and then the other one was 14. And we go live with my cousin who is 27 with her 2 kids. So we're talking 5 kids under one roof with 27. And I think people, you know, thought we weren't going to do well because we had lost my mom and that sort of thing. Turned out fine. Yeah. That's because I prayed, I studied, I worked hard, and that's why I tell kids, you work hard. Education is such a big deal. Don't be a follower, be a leader. You don't have to follow.
Where's your cousin at?
Everybody lives in Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah. All my family packed up. I stayed here, went to law school, Miles Law School. Okay. And everybody packed up and they went to Tennessee and left me here to finish law school. So the only people here is me and my dad.
Well, shout out to Cuz.
Yes.
Thank you.
Alicia Moffitt, I love you.
Alicia Moffitt, because you helped shape this young lady into an attorney.
She did. And I have to make sure I explain the situation too. My dad, we have a very close relationship. Him and my mom were divorced when she passed, and we just had this close relationship with my cousin. We just kind of packed up and stayed with her. But I've always been a daddy's girl. My dad is also a big part of who I am, the confidence, and I'm one of those people, I tell everybody, I don't have to get validation from men per se. Between my brothers and my dad, I'm good. They compliment me all the time. I have that confidence. And like I said, my dad is dad of all dads. So he helped in that shaping too.
So do you have any children?
No.
No children?
No, just me, my husband, and a really bad dog.
What kind of dog
Roscoe.
you got?
I have an American Bulldog.
That's the little short, fat one.
No, he's the Bulldog face, but he has longer legs. So he's kind of in the middle. So he's not. So it's English Bulldog, then you got American Bulldog, French Bulldog. So his name is Roscoe. We call him Roscoe Jenkins, aka Mr. Jenkins.
So he's just bad.
He is.
Yeah, I got a red nose and.
Also, you know, boy, or girl.
Girl, she's wild and crazy.
Boy. Yeah, but I love him. That's my first baby.
Yeah.
That's my first baby.
So after judge, and after the Supreme Court, where do you see yourself going?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I hadn't even thought that far into it. I'm trying to get to the judge part.
Speaking to existence.
There you go. I like the way you
speaking
talk.
To existence.
I like that. Yeah. I don't know. Look, you said Supreme Court and all that. I don't know. I'm so focused on
as a judge.
This step.
As a judge.
Okay.
What do you think could better the judicial system?
I can speak for domestic relations, where I am majority of the time. One of the things, and I'm not saying that I think our judges in DR are all excellent judges, but I know as an attorney, you know, we like to see cases close and conclude at a very good rate, because you find your clients in that, especially when dealing with divorces, you find them in that little spot where they can't really move on. And so kicking out orders, getting orders out is a big deal. It allows people to kind of conclude and move on with their lives instead of just kind of sitting there in limbo. That's a big thing. The other thing is too, you know, we have like standard visitation schedules in Jefferson County, actually pretty much all of them. Are you familiar with standard visitation?
That's what I was about to ask you about.
Okay. So standard visitation schedule is a schedule for a non-custodial parent to allow them to have their custodial time. And what we have now is mainly first and third weekend, and everybody kind of tweaks theirs a little bit, but you
does that mean like is a mediator there or something? I mean, like not a mediator, but so it's nobody there. So what's the one when it's kind of bad and they have somebody there?
That's supervised visitation.
Supervised, okay.
Yeah, supervised visitation. We do have supervised visitation schedules. Normally, if you see supervised visitation, that's because we have a parent that you're concerned about the safety of the child.
Oh, that ain't real, but sometimes they're real. Yeah.
Yes, it is real.
I'm gonna drink my cucumber water.
You drink your cucumber water.
Yeah, because sometimes I feel unsafe for my life and all that.
Well, see, that's what's up. That's what the judge is supposed to do. They're supposed to take into that evidence and information has been presented to them to make a decision if that is truly the situation.
Yeah.
Okay. But yes, supervised visitation, that is visitation where there's or any parent are not allowed to see the child or visit with the child without a third party being present. It has to be supervised at all times. And normally if you're dealing with supervised visitation, someone has presented to the court some type of facts and evidence that shows them that this child could be in harm's way or there's a safety issue if they're with this person, I'll say parent, with this person without any type of supervision. And so for you to have that, you've done, you hey, you
went overboard a little bit.
Yeah. You don't want to have a situation with supervised visitation.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That means you have done something enough where this judge feel like you are a danger to this child. So it can be abuse. It can be some type of
words.
Yes, it can be a little bit of everything.
They call it mental abuse or something.
It can be, absolutely. If they believe you are a danger to their child, it can be physical abuse. It can be verbal stuff. It can be. I'm trying to think too. It also can be drug related.
Yeah.
You know, if a judge see that there's a parent that is on some type of drugs or something of that nature, and it appears that they could be a danger to the child based on the effects of those drugs. And they will have supervised visitation because the judge doesn't take the visits from the parent. Because you have to think about it. If you have a child that's, a young child, say 5 years old, used to seeing mom or dad, no particular one that would have supervised, it'd be any parent, used to seeing that parent all the time, and then they do something, that 5-year-old don't understand why they can't see dad. Yeah. So you use mom. So use that supervised visitation. Look at you. Dad or mom, people.
Dad or mom.
So you use that supervised visitation, make sure you put a third party there, because this child, you don't want it to affect the child not being able to see that parent. So you just put something in place so that the child can still see the parent, because it affects them. They don't understand that this person is on drugs and that could be a danger to them. They just know their mom, they just know their dad, unless they hurt the child and say it like physically.
Because y'all go crazy too.
Who are y'all?
Women. Y'all go crazy. I'm being messy.
Yes, we have women with supervised visitation. I've seen women and men. I've seen moms and dads have supervised visitation. Yeah. So yes, that happens quite a bit. So what is that you want to see? I know this is about me, but
what do I want to see?
What do you want to see? And that's related to domestic relations, because that's where I am.
I don't know.
What do you want to see different? Or what
domestic relations? But I know this.
Custody and divorces. And what do you feel like something with dads? Or
I want to see fairness.
Okay.
I want to see if what's good for the goose, good for the gander.
I agree.
So I want to see if you do it for her, do it for him too.
I agree.
Don't pick sides. You're a judge. You know what I'm saying? You got to judge and to be fair.
Correct.
Know when you're being duped.
Do you feel like that happens? Do you feel like
not just domestic relations, child support, criminal.
So even in criminal court, you feel like women get more better treatment from the judges?
It might not even just be women. It might be a police officer over a criminal. Sometimes some things ain't always what it seems.
So you have kids?
I do.
So as a dad, what is it that you think you can say, hey, Adrian, I know you're running for judge, and this is something I would like to see a little bit different or changed. Do you feel like the standard visitation is enough for non-custodial parents, which is really just every other weekend?
All right. I feel like with visitation, I feel like it should be fair.
What do you call fair?
All right, now,
I'm taking notes.
if that parent is supposed to get that child, whether it's a mother or a father, that parent's supposed to get that child at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Now it's 5 o'clock, and you said, well, we had something to do.
Okay.
That's not my problem.
Right. I 100% agree.
If it's the weekend I'm supposed to get them, and now I can't get them because you saying, well, my husband, my boyfriend, or my girlfriend, and my mom and them. No, you can't do that.
Oh, I agree.
It's supposed to be court ordered, right?
I agree.
Okay, so now when I as a man,
Mm-hmm.
when I go to the police and I call the police and say I want to fill out a report, they're supposed to fill out their report.
Right.
Now I take it to the court. The judge's supposed to do the same thing they would do to me. And what is that?
So you're talking about contempt, is what you're referring to.
Contempt.
It is.
All right. I know what it is. I just want you to say it. But it's not like that.
Okay. But maybe it's the judges that you.
I mean, it's not me. I don't, you know.
Or
I just heard so many cases.
You've heard of cases. Okay. But I 100% agree with you. I feel like you said, whether it's man, woman, dad, mom, husband, wife.
Just be fair.
Order, oh, absolutely.
Just be fair. That's it.
When there's an order in place, and like you said, that custodial parent is supposed to have their child dropped off at 5 o'clock. Now, if they said, hey, I'm running late.
Running late, that's different.
Right.
But I done came from one side of town to the other.
Absolutely.
And I'm supposed to meet you at this spot. And now you like, oh, I forgot to call you and tell you that we not coming.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I have a problem with that. I 100% agree.
Okay.
That should, and
we just want to know, if you're gonna be fair. We want to make sure you're gonna be fair.
Right. That's that fall in the order.
That's all the people want.
Oh, absolutely.
It's fairness. But I think you'll be fair.
Well, thank you.
You
that's
different.
that fall in the order.
Yeah.
Am I different?
Yeah, I think you're a little
you.
different.
But I appreciate it. I agree. I 100% agree. The child need to be there at 5. You can't say, hey, I had something to do, so I'm just gonna skip this visitation. My order mean nothing, so you can't skip this visitation.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We're gonna see how tough you're gonna be.
So yes, you're referring to, just like you said, contempt.
Yeah.
And that had to be brought. That had to be brought to the judge. And here's what I also noticed. A lot of parties deal with these issues and they wait till it gets so far gone before they want to bring it to the court and say, here's my contempt. But if we don't know, if you don't bring it to the judge, you can't just fuss about it the whole time.
I didn't know. A friend of mine was doing that. Every time she went there, he'd call the police. He'd get a police report. He had a stack of police reports.
And probably never filed with it.
No, he took it to court. But the judge didn't do nothing to him. Yeah.
I don't know why that happened like that.
Right.
But yeah, they got to follow those orders. I 100% agree. Because it's unfair.
Yeah.
It really is. It's unfair. It's unfair.
How long have you been practicing now?
13, almost 14 years.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
14 years.
Yep. And like I said, before that, I worked 6 years for domestic relations attorneys. They actually did a little bit of everything. They did divorces. They did child support, custody, family law, a little bit of criminal. So I was their legal assistant, and that's how I kind of fell in love with family law and divorce. They were excellent lawyers. Sammy Shaw and Kevin Roberts. Both of them are now in the PD's office. Neither one of them are doing it anymore. They're both in the PD's office. Excellent lawyers. I had to, based on my job for them, I had to do a lot of reading and do pleadings and stuff here and there for them. And you just end up kind of learning and reading in law, and you realize what you kind of have a niche for. I get excited on my divorce cases. My clients love me. You all can Google me. I promise my clients do. They love me. I have great client reviews. I've been invited to weddings and gotten gifts because I absolutely care about my clients. We become friends. I work hard for my
Have
cases.
you stopped people from getting a divorce? Like,
I have.
okay.
Yes, I have.
Now that's good. I like to hear that.
Yes, I have.
I don't like divorce, but I like to hear that.
I know, and it's this weird balance because, yes, I'm a divorce attorney. I love what I do. I love the case law, and I'm hard working on my cases. My client says she wants the dog. I'm gonna need the dog.
I'm gonna take the dog.
I'm gonna take the dog. She says she wants the cat. I'm gonna need to get that. I'm gonna
the
need
cat
the cat.
too.
Fork, knife, even if she don't want it. I'm gonna just fight for it, you know.
See that?
It's fun. But that's because I love that part of it. I do. I love what I do. But yes, 100%.
So she said she don't want to have number $10 a month in his account. You gonna take it all?
As a divorce lawyer, I'm gonna need that $10.
Say it.
I'm gonna need that $10.
Say it.
So, but
okay.
I have clients that can hands down or consults. I think recently somebody posted on my Facebook page was complimenting me on that they had met with me. But yes, I do try to do my consults when people come in and meet with me. I do try to talk to them, and I don't push divorces. They'll tell you. I have plenty of them can tell you. At the end of the day, I say God's gonna bless me with cases no matter what. I don't have a reason to push it. So when they come to me to consults, I talk about it. Is there no other option? I propose counseling. Have you all discussed this? Sometimes your situation is not as bad as what you think it is. I tell them I've seen all types of cases, and some of them are not as bad as, like I said, it seemed. I tell them, think about it. I said, I'm not going anywhere. My office, AP Law Office, is always open until I become a judge. I tell them, I'm not going anywhere. You can come back 5 days or 5 years during that time, and you can hire me.
I got one last question.
Okay.
And you can answer this how you want to answer.
Okay.
What makes you qualified to be a judge?
Just the things I talked about earlier. That experience.
So tell them what make you qualified.
Okay. Just what I mentioned earlier. That experience. You do not want to have anyone on the bench who do not know the law. You want someone who has done several cases in that area. You want someone who can tell you and say, hey, from my particular cases, I know this, I know that, I know how to apply the law. I've actually sat as special judge. I think some people know that I've announced that. But I've sat as special judge, and I tell people that means a lot. What that means is there are judges, when they are unavailable to handle their docket, they trust me to sit in their place and hear their cases and make rulings. And so with that being said, you want someone that has experience, you want someone that have done the cases, you want someone who understands and are able to apply the law. You want someone that is intelligent, but you are knowledgeable of the law in general. But you also want someone, like I spoke earlier, compassion, fairness. You don't want to have a person on the bench who you have to worry about who they know or who's on the other side of the case. Everyone gets a fair shot. You should always, especially when you're dealing with families, you should always make sure that everyone has a fair shot when it comes to their cases. So yeah, I absolutely believe I'm qualified for all those reasons and many more. But yeah.
So now, I think we had a pretty good time.
Thank you. I enjoyed myself.
Tell them your name again.
Adrian Martha Powell. I am running for, look, I just stole it from me now.
She's an AKA.
I'm an AKA. And I'm running for Circuit Court Judge, Domestic Relations, place 23. This is in Jefferson County. This is the Democratic primaries. That is May 24th, 2022. I hope you all get out there and vote for me. I appreciate your prayers, your support, get my name out there. And thank you for having me. I truly appreciate
thank you for coming.
it. Yes, I had a great time. So thank you all for even getting on the live. He'll tell you this is my first time doing a live. It was fun. I didn't even know where to go on Facebook.
I teach every day, Monday through Sunday. My class is always open.
I love it. Oh! You want me to be unjudged, like, see these shoulders? see that's shank behavior right
See
there.
that? See? Shank just come all the way out. See?
You want me to stroll?
See?
I would not stroll. But you AKAs, no.
I couldn't get my music right. We still playing for you.
I like that. You was ready.
Oh, and guess what? I do not own the rights to this music because they won't let me play nothing. But appreciate you tuning in. Shout out to you and thank you. And we're going to see you next time.
Thank you. Good night, everyone. Gonna help me cut this live off because I don't know how.
I am.
Hello. Oh, are we supposed to read stuff? Oh, yes. Hey,
Yeah,
George.
a lot of stuff to read.
Oh, let me see. See, this is...
Somebody said, great interview.
Hey,
Enjoy the
George.
interview with this great lawyer.
Hey, Alicia Marvin.
Oh, my sister said, Mr. Carr. I guess he was her. Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
Appreciate y'all.